Good evening. Plans to ease parts of the lockdown have been put on hold after an increase in COVID infections. Businesses across London, including music venues, casinos and bowling alleys, had been preparing to reopen tomorrow. But in a bitter blow, this afternoon the government announced they must remain closed for another 2 weeks. Well, weddings with up to 30 guests will also no longer be able to take place, leaving some couples having to cancel their plans with less than 24 hours notice. Helen Keenan has been looking at what the change in official advice means. Well, the ongoing measures to combat the pandemic will have an impact on people celebrating Eid this weekend. Normally, mosques in London would have welcomed thousands of worshippers today. However, social distancing has limited those who could attend, while also affecting family celebrations. Toby Sadler reports. Dr. Sana Malik is a GP who was drafted into work on a COVID ward at the height of the pandemic, and she joins me now. Dr. Malik, thanks for joining me this evening. We're hearing then about this uptick in infections. Are you seeing more cases coming into the hospital now?
Yeah.
New, because of course we do know about the infection, that it does affect older people more who are more vulnerable to it. Are you saying now that you're seeing more young people than before coming in with the infection, but also with symptoms that they need hospital treatment for? Is younger people who may not have serious symptoms, but of course they still spread the virus to those who are more vulnerable. And Dr. Malik, of course, we heard that, no lift in the lockdown, the changes that were going to happen tomorrow, but also this is all happening during Eid as well, where so many Londoners would have been celebrating over the next few days. And sadly, again, that will be affected by the restrictions and the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, the news that some businesses can't open their doors tomorrow comes as the government's furlough scheme, as we know it, comes to an end. From Saturday, employers will have to pay the national insurance and pension contributions for their staff. There are growing calls for more help for workers as London's job market continues to be hit by the pandemic. With more, here's Chloe Keedy. Well, theatres are among the businesses which had been hoping to open their doors to customers this weekend. The extension of the lockdown is yet another blow to the industry, which is already struggling. Well, earlier this week, it was claimed the Phantom of the Opera had permanently closed, but the company behind the production have now insisted it will return. I'm pleased to say Josh Peterman, who is the current star of the musical, joins me now. Josh, set us straight here. Closing down, but now we hear not for good.
No.
Cracks when it comes to financial support. Do you think the government needs to be doing more long term to help those people and to help our industry and help? It's the lifeblood of London, isn't it?
Of course.
The last couple of seconds, just tell me how much you're looking forward to getting back to playing the Phantom. And some other news: a teenage boy has been stabbed in Hackney. Police were called. Campaigners have criticised the decision to leave a statue of a slave trader outside a museum in Hackney. Trustees at the Museum of the Home say they are keeping the monument to Robert Jeffrey despite a public consultation which found a majority wanted it gone. Activists say it's an insult to honour Jeffrey, who was an English merchant who made his wealth from slavery during the 1600s. Ria Chatterjee reports. Sport now, and it's a big day at Wembley tomorrow. And former England footballer Alex Scott has teamed up with Watford's Troy Deeney to talk about mental health. The pair discuss. Now, you won't have failed to have noticed today it's been very hot. In fact, it's been the hottest day of the year so far, with the temperatures hitting an impressive 37.8 degrees. But how have Londoners been keeping cool as COVID restrictions continued? Carolyn Sim went to find out. So what about the rest of the weekend? Here's Helen with the forecast. And finally, tonight, for most pupils after they leave school, they don't expect to see their teachers again. But one London junior doctor got a surprise after he recently graduated. He found out his high school science teacher would be joining him when he started his rounds at Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital. Sally Williams has more. Thank you, Sally. What a wonderful reunion. That is it from me. We are back with the latest after ITV News at 10. Coming up, Charlene White with the ITV Evening News. But from me and the rest of the London team, bye-bye.